Strength is not measured by how much you lift, how loud you speak, or how hard you punch. Strength, true strength, is the ability to remain unmoved when everything around you is shaking. It is the ability to hold your ground when life throws chaos, betrayal, failure, and loss into your path. It's not about pretending the pain isn't there. It's about facing the pain, breathing through it, and saying, "You will not break me." That is mental strength. That is the unshakable core the Stoics trained for. Not in fantasy, not in comfort, but in daily discipline, forged in fire. Life does not ask for your permission to be hard. It does not wait for you to be ready before it challenges you. It will hit you in ways you never expected. The loss of someone you love, the collapse of your plans, the betrayal of a friend, the failure that no one sees coming. And in that moment, you will be tempted to fall, to complain, to freeze. But the Stoic does not ask for an easier life. He asks for the strength to rise when life gets harder. The Stoic trains to become unbreakable, not through arrogance, but through acceptance. Epictetus was born a slave. He had no control over his environment, no privilege, no comfort. His leg was broken by his master, leaving him crippled for life. And yet he became one of the strongest minds the world has ever known. Why? Because he realized something most people never understand. You cannot break a man who owns his mind when everything else is taken from you. Your health, your freedom, your status. What remains is your ability to choose your response. And that choice is where all power lives. Mental resilience does not come from wishing for peace. It comes from training under pressure. The Stoic does not avoid stress. He steps into it deliberately, because he knows it is the fire that hardens the blade. The world will test you. That's not a threat. It's a guarantee. And your response will reveal your strength. Not the strength you post about, the strength you practice. In silence. When no one is watching. When your ego is screaming, and your fear is rising, and your comfort zone is begging you to retreat. That's when you either become unbreakable, or you collapse. The Stoics prepared for hardship not by becoming numb, but by becoming ready. Ready to lose, and still act with integrity. Ready to suffer, and still live with courage. Ready to feel pain, and still speak with clarity. This is not repression. This is dominion over the self. The world can shake your body, but it cannot possess your mind unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the Roman Empire, dealt with plague, war, rebellion, and the deaths of his children. He ruled during chaos, and yet in his private writings, we see a man grounded, centered, calm. Why? Because he wrote every day to remind himself of what cannot be taken. His reason, his values, his character. He trained himself not to depend on external peace, but to become the source of inner peace. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the core of the Stoic warrior. He does not demand the world be easy. He demands that he become capable. To be mentally unbreakable, you must practice what the Stoics practiced. First, control your thoughts. The battle always begins in the mind. If your thoughts are weak, your body will follow. You must monitor them like a guard at the gates. Replace panic with presence. Replace why me with what now. Replace complaint with command. The Stoic speaks to himself with firmness, not fantasy. He tells himself the truth. Not what he wants to hear, but what he needs to hear. And then, he acts. Second, embrace voluntary hardship. The modern world teaches you to avoid discomfort at all costs. The Stoic seeks it in small doses. Cold showers, fasting, silence, physical training, saying no to temptation, rising early. These are not gimmicks. They are weapons, tools to remind your nervous system that discomfort is not danger, that you are in control, not your cravings. You must teach yourself to endure voluntarily, so that when involuntary hardship comes, you are ready. Third, detach from outcome. You will not win every time. You will fail, you will be rejected, you will be misunderstood. But you are not doing this for applause. You are doing this because it is right. Seneca said, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." Power is not about domination. It's about discipline. When you train your mind to act regardless of result, to do the work even if no one notices, to stay calm even when you feel rage, to continue when you're exhausted, you become untouchable. Fourth, anchor yourself in purpose. The Stoic warrior does not rise for shallow goals. He rises because he is driven by a purpose that transcends comfort, whether it is to lead, to protect, to grow, or to serve. He moves with meaning. Pain without purpose breaks you, but pain with purpose transforms you. The Stoic chooses meaning over mood. He doesn't ask, do I feel like it? He asks, is it aligned with who I am? And then he acts, regardless of motivation, regardless of fear. Fifth, remember that everything is training. Every challenge is a test. Every insult is a chance to remain composed. Every delay is a chance to practice patience. Every failure is a chance to practice humility. This mindset turns life into a gym, and you are training the soul. Nothing is wasted, not even pain, especially not pain, because pain is the pressure that forges the warrior within. To be mentally unbreakable is not to never feel. It is to feel everything and still choose the higher path. It is to be afraid and still move forward. To feel anger and still choose restraint. To feel sorrow and still stand tall. The Stoic does not kill emotion, he commands it. Like a wild horse, he trains it, tames it, rides it toward virtue. And so, the next time you are tested, not in theory, but in life, remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to stand. You need to respond instead of react. You need to breathe instead of break. You need to remind yourself, this is not the end. This is the forge. This is the moment I was made for. And you act. You act with resolve, with stillness, with purpose, because when the world sees you standing in the fire, silent, unmoved, determined, it will wonder where your strength comes from, and you will know. It did not come from comfort. It came from choosing the hard path when you didn't have to, from training when no one saw you, from fighting the inner war and winning, again and again. That is the Stoic warrior. Not loud, not angry, just steady, unbreakable. Not because life is easy, but because you are ready.